Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Impact today, a young woman's experience with Harmony at Home. I'm Julianne Levy, the Executive Director and founder of Harmony at Home, and I'm so pleased you're here with us today. I have a lot of gratitude to go around today, and I'm just going to mention our board of directors. We couldn't do this without you, our school partners, our donors, our staff. We have actually a whole group of our staff who are watching us today, and just really appreciate all of you, so thank you. And the foundations, our local foundations, have really made these programs happen. So thank you to all of you. You know, today you're going to have an opportunity to ask some questions and make some comments. If you can just put those in the chat, and we'll get to those as we can throughout the program today. So again, thank you for joining us. I'd like to welcome Savannah. Savannah Alvarez, who I've known for many years now, is 32 years old. And I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about yourself, Savannah. Tell us a little bit about just where you're at in life right now. Your schooling, your relationships. Why don't you just share that with us?
Yeah, right now I am working full-time for a local nonprofit where I'm giving back to our community. I'm going to school. I wish full-time, but working full-time, not possible. But I am majoring in math, and I'm absolutely loving it. I just switched to math. And right now I am engaged to the love of my life, the most amazing man in the world. He's so amazing. He's so good and kind and just respectful. And he has a son, my stepson, who I just absolutely adore. He's amazing.
Nice, nice. You've come such a long way. You really have. And it's quite a journey that you've been through, and I'm so privileged to have been on a lot of this journey with you, you know. And so tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Well, my childhood was really, I'd say, rough. It's challenging. When I was 6 years old, my mom had married a pretty horrible man. He hurt us in every way possible, and by us, I mean my siblings and I. Growing up, he taught us a lot, just really bad things, I guess. For me, anyways, I learned how to just really hate myself. I had this horrible view of who I was, and everything that he had taught me were things like, he would tell us if we cry, he would give us a reason to cry. He would tell me that I'm fat and I'm ugly. He would tease me anytime I would try to sing, and tell me what a horrible voice I had. And so, for years I wouldn't sing. And he was abusive to my siblings and my mom. And so I learned to really shut down and not open up, not talk, and not feel, I think, was the big thing. I didn't feel anything. At least I thought I didn't feel anything. And I really held on to that growing up.
Yeah, wow. You know, in your bio, you actually refer to your stepdad as a monster.
Oh, yeah. I still refer to him as a monster.
Yeah. He really abused you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to share a little bit more about, if you're comfortable, just about that abuse and how it's impacted you?
Oh, yeah. So he was physically abusive to us. He wouldn't allow us to see my stepdad, or my real dad, I'm sorry. Mm. So he wouldn't allow me to see my real dad, and eventually at some point my real dad had passed away before we got to see him again. Growing up, he would hurt us at some point after my dad had passed away. It got more physical with my sister and I. And I didn't say anything. I never said anything. At one point, my sister had asked me to speak up for her, and I didn't. I made her do it, and I felt so guilty. Just so guilty. Mm-hmm. I get emotional still.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
And, I took that guilt on as an adult, and a lot of the things that he taught me, I took on as an adult. Growing up, I believed that I was fat. I believed that I was ugly. I believed that you're not supposed to cry, because if you cry, you're weak. And you're not supposed to share your emotions, because that's also weak too. And so I didn't let anyone in. I was angry all the time. but I couldn't show anyone that, so I showed that I was numb.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So thank you, Savannah. Yeah, this is a lot. It's a lot to hold. And we're going to take a little break. We did showcase a video during our luncheon, our 2019 luncheon, that we're going to share with you today, and it tells you a little bit about the work that Harmony at Home is doing. Thank you. These children deserve a program. They deserve to know that this isn't the norm. It doesn't have to be this way. They can learn alternatives to violence, healthy ways to be in relationships, and they can learn how to break the cycles.
Our involvement at Harmony at Home, it's helped us a lot with just, I think, emotionally and mentally, because we have that support constantly from our group, from whether it's from our girls or whether it's from our therapists. They're all our friends, or all our family members now.
We're looking at the impact that these programs are having on children and families, and recognizing the importance of children and their families learning that there are healthy ways to be in relationships.
God knows why He does things, and God brought us here today for a reason.
In the past 7 to 9 years, we've seen the trajectory of violence going down between 10 and 24-year-olds. These are the children and youth that have been impacted by our programs.
My mom was a drug addict, different drugs, alcohol, everything. I got taken away from her at the age of 8, moved with my dad. My dad was very abusive physically. My freshman and sophomore year and junior year, he homeschooled me. So I was locked in my house for like 2.5 years, no friends, no family, couldn't even walk my dogs, no electronics, no TV, no nothing. Just locked in my house reading books. The books were fun.
By the age of 13, I had tried crystal meth. I was constantly going into juvenile hall, constantly manipulating my probation officer. I would tell him I was going to do better, and I would just go out there and do worse. I was constantly just failing my mom.
So this 3rd grade boy that was on the verge of maybe becoming involved in gangs now found a way to be this undercover upstander, helping students, using his social power in a positive way, and he loved it. He would come and check in and want to get stickers for every time he was an upstander in a small way with the little conflicts or bullying that was happening around campus. But we were able to channel that and work with them to find a way to make those positive choices.
With the OVAS anti-bullying program, as well as to the Sticks and Stones counseling program, they can take some of these crucial lifetime values back home, and hopefully that can carry on with their younger brothers and sisters.
I am so proud of the Chular students. They've come a long way. They just took the stage and they rose up and they completed an incredible, mind-blowing assembly and made some videos that were really powerful for their school.
After the assembly, a lot of people were encouraged to be upstanders as well. So not only did the bullying stop, but it also encouraged the students to stand up for other people, not only in the school, but outside of school. And I just find it really amazing how dramatic the result or the impact was.
The little students really started to see these 7th and 8th graders as the heroes, as the upstanders. And they would come to them with their concerns around being teased or conflicts or bullying. And the students loved it. They would want to help out and give back to the younger students.
As a child, your parents do teach you to respect others and that you have to be kind to others no matter what, that we're all different, and it's in a good way, in a positive way too. And that we should just accept it and be nice to everyone.
We liked it so much that I engaged in conversations with Julianne to bring other programs. And since then, Harmony at Home has been a pleasant addition to our school district.
We'd like to take some of our programs out beyond Monterey County, throughout California, and maybe the nation at some point, because all children should have models for healthy relationships in a nurturing and supportive way.
Teen Success Inc. is a program that focuses on supporting and empowering young women between the ages of 14 to 19 years old who are pregnant or parenting.
I think without this program, a lot of us would be lost. I'm thankful for Karina because she's such a great help, and she's taught me many parenting skills. She's helped me fill out job applications to scholarship applications, to fill out different forms I need to fill out. She's just helped me with a lot, problem solving. I just felt like I belonged there.
Without my daughter, I really would have ended up maybe dead, because a lot of my friends were dead. And I changed a lot once I had her, completely. I stopped going out. It was all about my daughter.
I'm thankful that I have somebody to support me throughout this, and I'm here to support her as well, you know? All I know is throughout our whole lives, we've always been pushed together, and I know it's for a reason. I know God. It's God, you know?
Just bringing us together to
strengthen each other, because I have things that she doesn't have, and she has things I don't have, you know? I have the discipline, and she has the love, you know?
Yeah,
So we're just a perfect match.
This year, of our 18 current members, 4 of them have just received Teen Success Inc. scholarships to go on to college, and all 4 are going to be going on to Hartnell, and the scholarships are $4,000 each to help them to achieve that goal of going to college, getting books, and whatever else they need along the way. So we're really proud of that program. And what's wonderful is that in addition to coaching, they're also every week they meet together as moms with their babies every Friday at Mount Toro High School.
For our trip at the Harmony at Home camp, we went to Big Sur, and we stayed at a very nice property with a very nice house with acres and a horse ranch, and it just showed us that just the beautiful places that we can visit and that we can throw ourselves into as long as we push ourselves. And that's the whole point of the program, is to make changes in our lives, and you can just see it, that our therapists, they really do make changes in our lives. Harmony at Home has really helped us and made a difference. You see it in us.
We develop a more of a, I would say, stronger connection, and they definitely trust me in like being a woman, being a mother, being Latina.
What I've always felt with Harmony at Home is the ripple effect. You know, things just don't happen overnight. And if we can impact one generation, that impacts the next generation and the generation after that. We encourage our communities, the farming community, the businesses, to support what we're doing, because these are your employees, these are the children of your employees, and we all are in this together, and it benefits all of us if our children are healthy.
My plan is to join the Navy and do the full 20 years, so I come out age of 39, 40, fully retired. And I'm planning, since I'm gonna be in there for 20 years, might as well go big or go home, be a doctor.
It Starts at Home just has really impacted me in a deep way in terms of thinking that through, and the way that I was raised and the love and nurturing that I got. And I realized that is really at the core of who I am. And I wanted all children to know that it's possible for all children to have that.
I just want to thank Harmony at Home and all the donors and all the effort they put into us, because it's crazy. A lot of people that don't even know us, have never met us, and all the effort they put in when our own families don't even do that for us. So we just want to thank everybody for that, because if it wasn't for the group, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest, this day.
I don't know where I'd be. Harmony at Home, it's been our biggest support.
Hi everybody, we're here talking with Savannah. She's sharing her struggles, you know, as a young girl growing up. So we're so grateful that all of you are joining us, so thank you. So Savannah, you know, when I reflect on a lot of our conversations and just reviewed just everything you've been through, you had mentioned at one point that you felt hate towards your mom.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it a lot. It was big, yeah. And I just want you to talk about that a little bit today.
So I blamed her for everything that we had ever gone through. I thought that, you know, the choices she made are the things that affected us and the reason why we were hurt by my stepdad. I felt like, you know, she wasn't putting us first. And so I blamed her for a lot of my pain and my anger. And I held on to that even, I mean, again, well into my adulthood.
Yeah, that was hard.
Oh, yeah.
To hold that and how that impacted you. And I know you brought a lot of those feelings into your teenage years. Mm-hmm. You know, as a teenager, I think as you were developing in that space and had a lot of confusion, a lot of feelings, I'd like you to share with us, like, what was it like being a teenager? I mean, that's where we're at right now in our conversation, right? You're a teenager, so what was that like?
It was still pretty rough. So at some point, so like I had said, my sister did tell my mom what was going on, and she moved us out and we lived with my grandma. And sometime later, she joined us with my little brother, and so at that time, I felt abandoned by her. And then she had started using, she had so much guilt for everything that we had gone through at that point. So she started using, and she wasn't allowed to stay with us. And again, I felt more abandoned. I felt like, my dad didn't love me, my mom didn't love me, and the two people who are supposed to love you no matter what, they don't love me, then I'm not lovable. And so in my teen years, I started cutting, and I was drinking. At some point, I started using as well. Yeah. I had a lot of hurt and a lot of anger. I blamed God for a lot of my pain. I felt like He didn't love me either, because, if you love someone, you don't hurt them. Right. And, God doesn't love me, Mom doesn't love me, Dad doesn't love me. I'm not lovable.
Right, yeah. I mean, you had all these people in your life that you felt should have been there for you who weren't. And I wonder, what was your faith in people? Like, did you have any trust that people were going to be there for you?
No, I felt like everyone was going to leave me. My grandparents had taken us in, and I know my grandma tried really hard, my grandpa as well, to be there for us. But if the two people who were supposed to be there for me weren't there for me, that means that everyone else who's going to be there for me is going to leave at some point too. And so I had like this big wall built up and wouldn't let anyone in. I wouldn't talk about my feelings. I, again, just kept everything bottled in. My grandma would try talking to me, and I'd always tell her everything's fine.
Right, right. So you mentioned your grandpa. Let's talk about your grandpa. I received a call about 16 years ago from your grandpa, and he was looking to get you some support. So he reached out to Harmony at Home. So tell us about that, just his reaching out.
His reaching out, let's see, he was very concerned about me. At this point in my life, I was using heavily every single day. I was not sober. I did not want to deal with life anymore. And so he was concerned. And so he reached out, and, I know he emailed one person and was like, oh, reach out to Julianne. She can help you out. And, she specializes with teen girls. And at that point, so I laugh because I think of that very first time that I met you. And I was so closed off and so angry. I told everyone I didn't want to do counseling. But my grandpa insisted, and he was the one person in my life who I felt like wasn't disappointed by me, wasn't angry with me. And, he would tell me all the time, no matter what you do, I'm always proud of you. And so when he asked me to go, I'm like, all right, fine, I guess. For you, I'll do it. And so I remember that first time meeting you just being like, I had made sure I did everything I could to make it so you didn't want to like me or talk to me. I painted my nails black. I put all kinds of black makeup on. I know I had my hair dyed black at the time, and I put on my black shirt, black pants, studded belt. And I remember just flopping on that couch and just being like, arms folded, like I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk to you, but I'm here because my grandpa asked.
Yeah, and you kept coming back, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was a pretty incredible time for us. And so we're going to take another short break. And if you have questions or comments, remember to put them into the chat, and we will get to them at some point in the program. Talk to you in a few minutes.
Hi, my name is Lorena Rodriguez, and I'm the program manager for Sticks and Stones. Today, we get to hear from one of the parents of the families that we work with. Her name is Veronica Rodriguez.
During this difficult time, I think it's important for every student to have that support system.
When I started the program, I was in 4th grade, and it felt better for me because I had a lot of things that I could express, but just never express it to my mom. And when I had Miss Lorena to express it to, it felt like comfortable.
It's been great because Miss Lorena has been comforting us, and I really like it because we get to express ourselves, so it's really good for us.
Before Sticks and Stones, I would say it was chaos. Really not a whole lot of structure, and since Sticks and Stones, I've definitely seen a change in that. having the Zoom meetings, we've been able to have this session as a family where when the children were at school, it was a one-on-one with the kids. Whereas now I have college students who have been home when it happens to be their therapy session, and it becomes a family affair and we all jump in and are able to speak with Miss Lorena.
I'm looking forward for those sessions because I feel like if something happened that weekend, I feel most comfortable to talk to her about it or express myself about it.
It's been the perfect support system to add to our family.
So Miss Lorena would do an activity with us. One time she did a puzzle and we actually did it and it was really fun. She gave us this technique about breathing. So you would have to inhale for 4 seconds and then you would have to hold it for 2 seconds and then let it out for 6 and then it would relieve me. It would feel good.
I want to say thank you to all you guys and Miss Lorena especially for helping me express my feelings.
My children look forward to their weekly phone call with Miss Lorena, and I feel like there's things that they can't always say to me, but they feel in a safe environment to express those things to her. So I'm very grateful for Miss Lorena, and I know that it's definitely a team and it takes everyone to be a part of and make it happen for these families and for my children included.
Thank you, Mrs. Rodriguez, for sharing your story, and thank you all for all of your support.
Welcome back. And you just got to learn about our Sticks and Stones program, which is one of Harmony at Home's signature programs. So we're here today, we're talking with Savannah. And you know, Savannah, you were talking about when you were 16 and kind of how you were dealing with a lot of the trauma, you know, through some of these sort of really dysfunctional behaviors and all that was going on. And then we started to work together, and I felt that you would be a perfect candidate for our teen program, for our teen summer camp, and I invited you to the first camp. So tell us about your experience going to your first camp and starting to talk with other young women, girls really, about your experiences.
So before going to the camps, I didn't know anyone who experienced a lot of the pain and hurt that I did. And I didn't know other girls who had to keep secrets like I had to keep secrets. And, you know, or even knowing anyone who just did counseling even. And so going to the teen camps, meeting other girls and hearing their stories, it was the first time where I didn't feel alone. And I felt safe to be me and just comfortable being me. I started to be able to share my experience with other people, my own life story and all the hurt that I'd experienced. And it was just so healing. And, you know, every single teen camp that I did after that has always been so healing for me. And I think I went to about 7 of them. And so I think every time I went, I healed more and more. And I made lifelong friendships. I've met girls in a way where we can get really deep about what we're talking about. And I mean, I know them and they know me in a way where no one else does. Like, we built our friendship based off of our really horrible experiences and healing and growing together. And, you know, I didn't know any of their favorite colors or anything like that, but I knew them. It was probably the first time that I felt really seen.
Wow. Yeah, I remember the conversations, you know, as each year would go by and they would just get deeper and the friendships would grow deeper. And, you know, you attended, as you mentioned, 7 camps. And after your 5th camp, if you recall, we asked you to come back as a mentor. So for actually 2 years of those camps, you were helping younger girls and helping them to process a lot of what was going on with them.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, coming back as a mentor, almost, you know, as a leader, what was that like for you?
I would say more healing. I was able to find meaning in the pain that I experienced, the assaults that I had experienced as well. I didn't feel like I experienced this for nothing. I felt like I had a reason to share now, and you know, I had a reason to be here and people to be here for and a purpose, really.
Yeah. Wonderful. So we're going to take another break, and you're going to get to learn in this next video a little bit about our Teen Success Inc. program. And please, if you have a question or a comment you'd like to share, put it in the chat and we'll get to it shortly. Thank you.
Teen Success understands that education is one of the key factors to breaking the cycle of poverty. That's why one of our main focus is to help make sure they graduate high school, complete their GED, and then continue to support their post-secondary goals. Just in South Monterey County, we started with 1 member and now we have a wait list. So there's just a great need for this program to continue expanding across the county.
I heard about the program by my school. TSI helped me find better balance in my life, to be in school and with my kid at the same time. My counselor helps me by, any question that I have, she tells me where to go, or she tells me how to plan more about my life.
I want to say thank you to all the donors and just anyone who's made this program possible, just helping us expand to South County.
Thank you again for joining us. And, you know, Savannah, 8 years ago, I believe it was 8 years ago, we asked you if you wanted to speak at one of Harmony at Home's luncheons, where there's a couple hundred people, right? Yeah. And we felt that you were at a stage in your life that this could be a really powerful opportunity for you to share. And you did. Mm-hmm. You wanted to do it. You embraced the opportunity. So tell us a little bit about that first experience speaking to this group of people.
Definitely nervous, definitely scary. I was going to tell a whole bunch of people all the pain I've ever experienced, and so I was scared.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was excited, nervous, and I started to feel like, how would I say it? Life was starting to come full circle, I guess. Mm-hmm. I had done so much healing at this point where I could talk about what I experienced and not hurt from it. And I was excited because the way I see it is I'm going to be helping people. People are going to hear my story. They're going to hear what I've experienced, but they're going to see too that it is possible to overcome and it is possible to heal. And that it's okay to hurt and it's okay to experience pain, but it's what you do with it. And I finally felt like I was doing something with it.
Yeah. Well, that day you shared something with the audience that nobody knew you were going to share. Took a lot of courage. Do you want to share that with us today?
Yeah. So again, talking about my experience, a lot of it it was putting a lot of my mom's stuff out there too, and her choices and how much they hurt me. And so standing up there in front of everybody, I was able to, finally forgive my mom. Obviously not 100%, it was the start of it, but, I felt so good. I still get emotional thinking about it. But my mom and I have had such I'm going to say tumultuous relationship. And standing up there, I was able to look at her and tell her I forgive her. Sorry?
No, me too. Yeah, it gets me too. It was a special day.
And at that time, I think I still get emotional for it because I can still feel that good I felt afterwards. And even at that time, I felt like this big, giant rock that I've been hiding under and stuck under for so long finally got lifted off of me, and I just felt so light and free and just good and happy. And I hugged my mom in front of everyone and I held on tight, and it was my first time ever crying tears of joy.
Yeah.
So I healed so much that day, and I couldn't stop crying all day long. And again, I was so happy. I didn't know what else to do but cry.
Right, tears of joy, really, and relief. And I remember that day like it were yesterday. I remember you could hear a pin drop in that room. It was so powerful. It directly impacted you and your mother's relationship and those close to you, but it impacted every single person in that room. It really did, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And, you know, we don't have a question, but we had a lovely comment I want to share from Jessica Alvarez. Jessica says, "I love you, my sister. I and Grandma are very proud of you."
I love you too.
Jess.
So you guys?
Yeah, she's right here with you, huh? Really sweet. So thank you again for joining us today, and we're going to take another short break, and we're going to get to hear from one of our community partners. We have some fabulous relationships in our community, so please, we'll see you in a couple minutes and enjoy the clip.
Julianne and her team came in and incorporated the Sticks and Stones program, actually trained our Boys and Girls Club staff to help us work with kids a little bit more effectively, process their emotions, and then also just really helped us with actually having counselors on site to work with our kids. To have a professional counselor to listen to them and coach them has really helped with our club culture. We have 300 kids a day that come into each one of our clubhouses, and probably 10 of them a day need some type of counseling. They need the one-on-one person that they can confide in and kind of share what's going on, the adversity that's going on in their lives. There's this one kid who, this is over 10 years ago, he was just an angry young man. He was probably 10 years old at the time. Flash forward 10 years later, he joined the military and he came into town. He was actually stationed in Afghanistan, but he came back, and he came back with his fiancée, a beautiful young lady, invited us to his wedding, you know, just over at Lovers Point. And he came in, he said, I just wanted to see you guys. I wanted my fiancée to meet you because you meant so much to me. And he said, I'm sorry for all the grief that I put you guys through. I know I was a mess and blah, blah. And I just, you know, we were like, no, man, you were fine. And, you know, you were going through things. It's okay. And then he said, how's that counselor doing? How's that, you know, Miss Julianne, how's she doing? I said, she's still doing it. She's still counseling. He said, would you thank her for me for all that she did, and tell her that I'm all right? Tell her that I turned out okay. And he said, she saved me. He said, she saved my life.
Welcome back. We're talking with Savannah today, and I don't know about you, but we got our tissues out, so this is pretty powerful stuff. And I have another comment, no questions, but another comment from Mary Kay. Thank you for reaching out. Mary Kay says, I hope they realize the positive impact they are making by sharing their stories. So, yeah. So I talk a lot about harmony at home in terms of breaking cycles of violence, abuse, poverty. And I'm going to quote from Savannah's bio because she just epitomizes this. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. When I look at my stepson, I feel pride in knowing that I am not going to hurt him and that I have broken the cycle of abuse and dysfunction with my little family. We won't ever put a hand on him. He will always have someone safe to talk to without judgment, and his well-being will always be put first. And I'm so grateful to Savannah for just putting words to that, to her experience. This is what we're doing. We're breaking cycles. So I don't know about all of you, but my heart's pretty full right now, and I'm just so proud of you, Savannah, and the work you've done, and you're such a strong woman, and you're such a role model for so many youth today. And you know, you joined Harmony at Home 16 years ago, and here you are. You're in college, you're a stepmom, you've got a good relationship. Can you, you're just in a good place. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you able to share with us today maybe your thoughts for youth today, maybe families who have struggling teenagers, maybe they're struggling with depression, anxiety, self-harming behaviors, they're just hurting inside. Do you have some suggestions for maybe what people can do in terms of what they might want to outreach for help? Maybe just share that with us.
Yeah, well, number one, definitely don't judge. I know so many times parents feel like, oh, well, your life wasn't as hard as mine. Well, it's important to remember that your child only has their one life, and only that life to compare their pain to. And so their pain is just as real as any pain that anyone else has experienced. And so honoring that, and not telling them to suck it up and get over it, but being there for them and trying not to judge. And if you don't know what to say, say that. I know you're hurting, and I just want to be here for you. And that's really it, you know, not holding such high standards on them about being, oh, well, you know, you're just in your teen years, or you're just a kid, and you're just going through it. You'll be fine when you grow up. Our youth is what makes us who we are as adults. And so definitely reaching out to counselors, social workers, whoever you can for support. If it's a group that you can get them into, I feel like, you know, being in those teen camps, having peers, having other people who were like me made a really big difference.
Mm. Well, thank you for sharing that. That is wisdom, right? Wisdom. Savannah's lived it, and she's here to tell her story. And we couldn't be more proud of you today. So thank you today for joining us. We just feel so honored to have shared this very intimate conversation with you today. And take care, and thank you all. Bye for now.